Hello, I'm Frost and welcome to my video series on the turn-based strategy game Age of Wonders Planetfall, and this is episode 2 of Amazon in depth using the Sinumbra secret deck. So welcome back to my in-depth series on the Amazon, where, as I said, we're on episode 2. And let's just do a quick little recap. It'll take about a couple of minutes just so you remember where we are if you've watched the other video a little while ago. So we're at turn 31, and as you can see, I'm on a continent surrounded by water. So I don't have any borders with any of my opponents except on the south side here, where you can see Tikliev and Gusuvarak, and that's Zana, who's a Dvar. And those of you who know me, I don't get on with the Dvar very well. I always end up having to fight them. At the moment, I have good relationships with Zana, but that may change in the foreseeable future. I then managed to take over the Office of Aqua Automatic Updates, and that's a +5 bonus for production. And as Governalas is my main production hub, that's going to come in very handy when this colony expands, which should be in one turn. And as you can see, I've focused my colonies. So this colony is focusing on production. Fasurial is my research colony, I believe. Yep, my research colony. Lovanduil up here is my food colony. And I acquired the Igloo growth chambers. And as you can see, I have loads and loads of slots for food production. So what I will be doing in a little while is I will actually be stopping all food production. So I'll be putting this like down into a negative like that and reassigning probably to energy. I may have to manually do this so that I can maximize these guys and then just get some energy in there as well. And I will do that with the other colonies. Darwin, I just literally took over just recently. And so that I'm probably going to put that into research as well, and I'll explain why in a second. But that will be energy focused once it's grown a little bit. And then this, let me see, on Hodwin down here, Hodin is my energy colony. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's my energy colony. So there you go. So that's kind of my setup so far. So I have 5 colonies, one of which has just been created, which is Adawin, and Odin was only created a little while ago. And my borders are pretty well protected. Obviously, I have up here this teleport, which is a bit of a concern because obviously that gives a kind of a backdoor into my territories, and it leads somewhere over here. There we go, just right here, which is next to Adam. Adam is the vanguard. If we go up here, we can see Adam. There we go. That's Adam McKinley. And as you can see, we've got great relationships at the moment. We've got a non-aggression pact, so that's all good. I have a non-aggression pact with S96 as well from the Assembly. And Zana, we're on good terms. We have a non-aggression pact as well. So I'm just trying to keep sweet with everybody at the moment and just build up my territories and set up my defenses. And I think where I'm going to go with this, simply because I have territory that it can be so well defended, I believe I am going to go for the Doomsday Weapon. I know it's really early. I normally don't make that decision until about turn 50 or 60. But I think that's the route I'm going to take. So I'm going to really focus my efforts on research, specifically military research, and try and get those military skills as much as I can. So talking of skills, as you can see, we're only kind of like at level tier 3 at the moment. I'm just training up volatile afflictions so I can get the corrosive detonator, which is my tactical operation. And then I can also deal arc damage with a mod if I want to. What I will then be doing is going into Harrier Commune and Photon Acceleration, because those two work really well together, because this is a mod for lasers and the Harriers do loads of damage with lasers. As you can see, I've trained up regenerative bioresonance, there we go. And for the nourishing field pylon, which you saw me use at the end of episode 1 to do the site, which I won. I lost a couple of units, but I won. What I also get is this regenerative bioregulator. Now this is a really important one, especially for my heroes, because not only does it grant me +10 vitality, you regenerate 8 vitality each turn in tactical combat and get all your health back. when you go back to the strategic map. So I'm going to be putting that mod on all my heroes. It's going to take some cosmites, so I've got 3 or 4 heroes I think at the moment. So I'm going to spend that cosmite on my heroes, giving them this bioresonance. And then from the society point of view, I'm finishing off research development. So obviously I want to use this bonus here, which is the Military Innovation Center, so that I can speed up my my research on the military side. And then I will probably go on to Dawn of Union, just so I can get the Hero Resurrection Protocol. And then I will then be going down and obviously getting my operation effectiveness. Also on the doctrine front, what I'm probably going to do is, at the moment I've got the builder doctrine, which gives me 20% less production to build my colony structures. Now I really don't need that far into the future, and I may switch that for something that is better suited for, let me go to my doctrines, here we go, better suited to combat operations, because I'm going to be wanting to do all these sites and get all the rewards from the sites, and so for that I need the tactical operations. Now I'm thinking the technologist gives me +2 tactical operation points, and they're 15% cheaper to use, and that may be a better use than what I've got right now, which is the builder. So I'm probably going to, in fact I'll do that now. I will abort that, and I will take on the technologist, which I may need to prime on the next turn for some reason, I think. Yeah, it's not giving me the option, which is very bizarre, because I already have it. There we go. So I will find another one to use that will be more suitable. So I'll think about that. I may go for the ecological instructions, or I may go for something else. So I'm going to decide that in a minute, and I'll let you know what I've decided, and we'll take it from there. So there you go. So that's the quick little recap, and obviously I'll be able to acquire this in the next turn, hopefully, and I will move around. I will do some of these sites and come back to you in a few turns' time. So I've now made it to turn 37, and everything's pretty quiet at the moment, so I'm just sort of progressing. I've been clearing out some of these sites, so I've cleared out the Soul Beacon site that was here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus on getting rid of these marauder camps so they don't grow too large. So there's one here that's also a quest for me, so that's going to bring in some extra energy and research, which is great. So I'm just going to take that out. I'll probably just use auto combat on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these armies and move it all the way up north to deal with everything that's up here, as I want to make sure that everything is cleared out. And also I'm worried about this teleport, and what I really need to do is jump through to the teleport here and take this sector as a forward base, just so that it gives me eyes on this teleport so I can see anything that's sort of coming in. So that will work very well for me. Then on the diplomacy front, everything is fine. I'm keeping everybody on board. Look at that, everybody's green or neutral. I've got four non-aggression packs, and I'm doing okay with T1. So I've been spending all my influence points on just keeping everybody kind of on board. I kind of lost some influence for Zana for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but what I made sure that I didn't do was build a sector on Hygiene Heights, because that actually, if I zoom out, you can see it actually borders onto Zana's territory, and that could have dropped my influence. So what I did is I'm now going for Adderwin. I'm going to go on the coastlines and expand that way, so that I'm not upsetting Zana at this stage. So that's the plan with that. Then with Levanduil, I am making sure that I'm training up the Agricultural Export Center, because that will mean then that I can then, like I said earlier, make sure that none of my other colonies are producing any food but still growing, and let Levanduil do that. But in the meantime as well, I need to get my Diplomatic Analysis Wing. That'll be handy just to push up my influence a little bit, because I'm really struggling on influence. And then I need to start maybe hardening up my, my military infrastructure. I've got to be careful about this though, because I'm not doing that great on energy. So I need to boost up my energy a little bit more. So I don't want to be creating any more armies, creating any more upkeep, as that will not be in my best interest right now. So if I lose a few units, it's not the end of the world at this stage. I think it's more important that I clear out these marauder nests and any other sort of sites that are in the area. and just clear out my whole territory, make sure it's all nice and sweet and clean, and that I'm in a good position to defend it without any third parties interfering. Then in terms of the training, I'm training up my Harrier commune, so that'll be my next one, followed by my photon acceleration. And then on my society research, it's operation effectiveness. So I've got my Dawn of the Union, so I've got my hero resurrection protocol in case I lose a hero whilst doing one of these sites. So I will do my operation effectiveness, and then I will probably come back and do aquatic deployment or development so that I can use this maritime research facility, because as you know, I want to boost my research. So that's the plan with that. And that's pretty much it for now, time being. If there's any manual combat, then I will come back and show you that manual combat. But at this stage, I think it's just more a case of like cleaning house, get everything in place, so that by turn 50 or 60, I'm kind of in a really good position to start going on the offensive. We're now at turn 42, and the update so far is, as you can see, I've done a pretty good job of clearing out all of the, let me just get the right map up, there we go. Clearing out all of the marauder nests and everything that are around my area. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to take this army here, which only has one hero in it, that's right, one hero at the moment, and I'm going to take her offshore and start clearing out some of these units and stuff that are around the edges of my shoreline, which will make it easier for me to then expand onto the shoreline and use my shoreline to expand my colonies without having to go in towards Zana or create some conflict there. So that's the plan there. I have this site still to do, which is a soul beacon. Now I've only got about 1,000 on my army, which is going to make it pretty close. So I could really do with modding that army. But I have about 65 Cosmite right now. So what I'm going to do is, rather than doing that, I've got my army up here. And this army has got the Arborian Queen, which I've not, the Arborian Sentinel, which I've not done anything with yet. And I'm thinking that I really should mod these because they're great heavy units. And so I'm thinking that because they've got lasers, I can use the Hard Light module and the Incinerator module. So the Incinerator module gives me basically status effects and gives me damage. Then the Hard Light module gives me 20% extra damage, and then I can put the regen on there as well. So that will make them really, really strong forward units that I can put in, and now they have Overwatch as well. So I can bring my Arborian Sentinel to the front, put them in Overwatch, and hopefully they can tank pretty well as well. So I've got 2 of those at the moment, so I'm going to mod both those units, and then obviously I'm going to wait the turn before moving forwards, but I really want to focus up here because I've got some animal units here that potentially I can grab one of those using my Primal Override. I did lose one of my Hopper Hounds that I gained. I lost it, so unfortunately I couldn't train that up. But what I want to do is I want to take this Sci-Fish faction, and I've got 82 influence, so I should be able to take that because I really want this sector. If I go back to my economy, you can see that I get a +10 research and a +10 energy, as well as getting some psionic resistance, and then there's this manufacturing facility as well. So that's like a really nice thing up there. And then also I've got this site that I can do, and obviously I've got a hero with me, so I can then finish off that site. And I'm thinking, because I already have Scattered Woods, and Lavanduil, yeah, it's got growth in 3, so that may give me enough time then to just take out these sites and then maybe take that over for as my next sector for Lavanduil, which will be really, really good. So that's the plan up there. So I'm going to focus my efforts up here. Like I said, I'm going to go offshore with, what's her name? Does she have a name? There we go, Sonara. That's a nice name, I like that, Sonara. Sonara's going to go offshore, and then I'm going to try and take this site down here and take that over. Although these sites are not easy generally, so hopefully I won't lose any units. If I do, it's not the end of the world. I'm keeping really good diplomatic relations with everybody right now. So as you can see, I'm doing pretty good with Adam. I've got sort of defensive pact, kind of agreed to that just to keep him sweet for the time being. Zana was a bit shaky, but I'm trying to keep everybody on board. but it's used up a fair bit of influence. But as you know, what I want to do is I want to just make sure that I can get into a position where I can boost up this research, because plus 115 is just not enough right now. And I'm actually thinking, because I'm doing pretty good on energy, I think I can probably afford another colonizer. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I need 40 cosmites, so I need to get that cosmite back. Well, I'm getting 15 cosmite every turn, and once I've done my aquatic development, I will probably do my anthropologic research, which will give me another 5 cosmite, and then do my accelerated force deployment so I can move quickly around my colonies. So I may be able to, I may keep my energy back, because I could put, I'm trying to think where I could put another colony on this continent. I could potentially put it right here, but then I've got to expand purely onto water, and I can only do that twice. But I could expand maybe back up this way, because Govinlas is expanding to the southwest, so I could use this water sector here. So I'll have to think about that, but it would be nice to get one more colony in and make it into a research colony, just to kind of really boost that research. So I will see the feasibility of doing that, and I will come back to you in a few turns and we'll see what happens from there. Right, so we've made it to turn 45, and my plan was to go offshore, if you remember, but that plan has changed because Zana claimed a territory that I had a claim on. So she now has a border with me. Now, that's not good, because that's Zana getting more aggressive. So what I've decided to do is, because I got some casus belli, I'm actually going to go to Zana and see if I can denounce her actions. So it's going to cost me 35 influence, but I have enough. So I think I'm going to do this, because what it's going to do is it's going to drop her standings with other people. So notably, that's going to be S96 and Adam. Now I know there's borders with Adam, and that she's neutral with those with Adam at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead with that, you know, and create some bit of friction here and there. All right, but maybe it will work in my favor. So I could really do with someone going to war with Zana to try and sort of wear down her armies a little bit. In the meantime, I've got this perpetual spark generator up here, and so I'm going to bring in one of my little sci-fish, and that's going to cost me 38 influence, and I'm going to acquire that sector, and then I get a nice little bonus. I get a +4 energy bonus there, so I really need that right now, so that's really handy. Then because Zana took my border with Tranquil Reefs, I've decided to go ahead and take the border with Hygiene Heights. So I'm going to upgrade that sector, and if I remember rightly, yeah, so that's an economy sector. So we're going to go for an economy, an energy exploitation on that, and that will kick in after the Maritime Research Facility. In fact, what I may do is, just for now, I'm going to boost up my production as much as I can. Let's put that on auto. There we go. So that takes it down to 4 turns instead of 6 turns, and that will just speed up that whole process, and then I'll put it back into research or energy exploitation. So in the meantime then, so these 2 armies here, I don't have much to do with them right now. There's not much going on around this whole area except these guys offshore. So I think I'm probably just going to go offshore with them and try and clean up some of the coastline. And it will give them some extra experience as well. So we'll do that. And then up here, I have met with the sci-fish that had the chemical mastery manufacturing area, and that is a +3 production bonus. And Lavanduil on the next turn, or is it, can it grow now? No, it's going to grow in 4 turns apparently. I could have sworn I could have annexed that straight away. But anyway, I'm going to annex that for Lavanduil. I've got a hero that I need to recruit. So I've got 345 energy. Yeah, we're going to do that. And we're immediately, some mounted units. That's great as well. I've got 30 skill points. So obviously vitality 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go for, whoops, let's do that again. We're going to do range specialists 1, 2, and 3. And we are going to go for the biology expert, because that's going to give a bonus to vitality. And We're definitely going to go Watchman on that, and that gives us 29 points. There we go. So that's kind of giving me the basics that I need straight away. And how am I doing on Cosmite? So ideally, let me see, have I got some already that I've not used? What's a projectile accelerator? Yeah, it gives me an extra 20% damage. I'll take that. And I will take the incinerator module, or maybe the hard light module. Hard light module gives me another 20%. And then we'll use our regeneratives. And that's 24 Cosmite. There we go. And do we want a secondary weapon? Yeah, I've got this free from his quest, so let's just throw that on so it's there. All right, so that's that. And then finally, I have this exploration site here, which is going to give me, once I take over the colony, an energy and a research bonus. So I really want to do that. And let me see, I've got an army here of 1412, so I've got a pretty powerful army. So let's go in and see what we're dealing with. Right, so we're dealing with the Kyoko. All right, so let's go into manual combat and see what happens. Okay, yeah, so they've got one of these big heavy units. I've forgotten his name right now. And he's going to be a problem, so I'm going to have to probably deal with him quite early. Now, I normally play with the Kyoko quite a lot, so I should be able to stand my ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically put these into a position where I can pop a nourishing field pylon around them. So my Arborean Queen we're going to bring to the front here, which is modded, if you remember. So we're going to put you into Overwatch as well. We'll pop you behind the other hero and pop you into an Overwatch. And I don't have any Biomancers. That's the only thing that I don't have. So I don't have any healing over and above me putting in this pylon. Right, so we do have this Sci-Fish Siren, which I've never really used very much. So I've got these two skills called Enticing Bond, which pulls the unit towards me. And I have this Impregnate, which apparently puts them into panic. So that sounds quite good. And then potentially transforms them into a chrysalis at the end of the effect. So that'll be interesting. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use that, but we will move the Siren here, just so it's a little bit closer. And then I've got a Harrier. And the Harrier does quite a bit of damage, if I recall. So we are going to pop the Harrier right over the top of my Arborean, right there. And then we're going to end our turn. Yeah, it would have been nice to have had a Biomancer so I could have done a scan on my Frenzied here. But that's not the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pylon. And I don't have enough. I used up all my credits, didn't I? My energy. So I can't do that. So that's going to cause me some problems. So what we're going to do is we've got plenty. Let's use the corrosive detonator right at the beginning there and start doing some status effects and removing some armor. And we're just going to have to hold our ground, I think, on this one. We're just going to have to put everything into defense mode or into Overwatch. And we're going to have to see how this plays out. There we go. Make sure I've got my Arborean Queen into Overwatch. My Arborean into Sentinel into Overwatch. Put you into... There we go. Alright, so let's see how this plays out. Because I was really planning on my pylon for this one. Right, no, some of them are blinded. Right, they're going to flank us. That's going to cause me issues. I've got to deal with those frenzied because that flank is going to cause me all kinds of problems otherwise. So, let's... you see, I've only got 13 credits. So I've got all of these tactical operation points and I can't use them. So, let's see if I can remove some armor from these guys. And then... I'm only going to do 15% because of the status effect, I think, that I've got on me. Okay. I really want to knock these guys out in one go if I can. Let's see how much damage I can do. This is going to miss every shot, isn't it? I still don't have enough. I'm still going to do the strike. And then maybe I can get a lucky shot with my hero. 95%, yeah. So let's do that.
Enemy eliminated.
And I'm going to move him into cover. Pop it back into Overwatch. Now, can I reach? No, I can't reach with this weird skill that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my Siren back. There we go. And let's see how this plays out. Right, these blinded are causing me all kinds of issues. Oh, that was painful. Yeah, so I've got no Nourishing Field Pylon, I've got no Biomancers, so I've got no healing except the healing that I've got in my units. Let's flank them from behind. There we go. And then hopefully, have you got enough yet? We should be able to do it, hopefully. The odds work in my favour. No? Yes.
Enemy eliminated.
Right, so now we need to focus all our efforts. Okay, well I can get the Venom Rifle in here, so that's handy. And I've got these guys right in front of me as well. I didn't even see those guys there. So, can I get them? There we go. My Siren's going to come in handy. Except my Siren is missing. So we'll have to use my Huntresses. I didn't have quite enough to clear it in one go. So we will use our hero. Let's see if I can spin round and get a shot. There we go. Oh, we get it's an arc weapon, so we get a bit of the advantage of shooting more than one thing at a time. Alright, so let's end the turn. Luckily I've got the regeneration mod on quite a few of my units. And that's probably what's going to save me. No, my Arborean's gone down.
Unit has fallen. Unit down. Enemy destroyed.
Right, so that was painful. Okay, so let's see if we can do this impregnate. There we go. You've got Scyfish parasites in you. So now, in theory, if I kill this unit, I should then get some Chrysalis.
Enemy destroyed.
No, maybe I had to wait a turn. I'll have to see. Okay, so we've left with our two heroes. So we might as well move our heroes right up. I haven't got a line of sight, but I can probably Dark Vine. Okay, and then let's move you up as well. Let's get you just right in there, because you have a Venom Rifle that does plenty of damage. Hopefully we will survive this round. So this is going to be a close call. Let's see how that pans out. We've got the regen, of course, yeah. So the regen is probably going to help me out here, because now I can just flank with both my heroes. I should have just gone one square then instead of two. And job done. Okay. So the moral of the story there is do not go in without making sure you have enough energy for all of your tactical operations. So unfortunately that cost me a Huntress and an Arborean, but you know, I paid the price for my silliness there. But at least we have the structure, we have the site. So that is great news for when we then take over that sector. So what I will do is I will run back and I will fortify my unit and give back an Arborean and make sure that I've got a Biomancer. So I've got a Biomancer actually training up right now, so that Biomancer will be available. Obviously I've got my new hero as well. So let's go a few more rounds and see how we do, and see whether it will be time to wrap up or whether we go a little bit further. Alright, catch up with you in a moment. So I've moved forward to turn 49, and as you can see I've cleared all this area up here now. I also did the site, which gave me just a little bonus. It was nothing special. But what I realized is that Lavenderville has already got the most sectors that it can already have. So what I'm going to do is this sector only gives me like a +10 bonus for energy, whilst this sector gives me the +10 bonus for this site here. There we go, +10 bonus, +10 bonus to research, not just energy, and also I then get the production bonus as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release this sector as a forward base, and then on the next turn I will then take this annex over this sector and then get the bonuses from that, and that will work out a lot better for me. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take, what's your name, love? Anira and Maraka. They're going to go through the teleport, and what I'm thinking of doing, because I'm doing quite well on energy right now, I can't teleport this round, I'll teleport in the next round. Because I'm doing quite good on energy, I'm thinking about taking a colonizer and dropping it right here. So it's kind of still, these two sectors and this sector here will all be away from Adam, so that won't create any friction, but it just creates a little bit more of a buffer for when I go all doomsday. Hopefully they'll attack this colony rather than trying to go through the teleport. So that's kind of what I got in mind. Plus also I get some energy bonuses here. And energy would be really handy right now, because what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of going to war with Zana. Now, my track record of going to war with the Dvar is not good. It's always like heavy losses on both sides. But the thing that's in my favor is that right now I have a defensive pact with S96 and with Adam. And Adam is like sort of fairly close to, he's up here. And I think this, is that, no, that's T1. So at least maybe I can try and get these other, Adam and, who was it? I've forgotten. Adam and S96 to go to war. But unfortunately they haven't got borders. I'd like T1 to go to war if I could. And I need to check as well if Zana, that's a good point, has Zana got defensive pacts with anybody? No. So the last thing I need is for everybody to be attacking me at this stage. But I'm thinking about it. Maybe I will go to war. Because I have quite a lot of armies that are kind of unused at the moment. As you can see, I'm just using these two armies down here. I'm going to clear out these areas around here. And then I'm going to come on shore. And then I've got literally a hero just sitting around here doing nothing. So maybe I will build another colony, bring these guys back, get everybody down south, and then try and use my defensive pact and go to war with Zana before I deploy my Doomsday, and then hopefully that will give me enough of a buffer to be able to protect myself. So that's the plan. I've been nice to everybody. I've been using all my influence to keep sweet with everybody, as you can see. In fact, let's give T1 another compliment. There we go. Look at that, all green, apart from Zana. So hopefully maybe I can get a defensive pact with T1, and that would be brilliant. So let's see how that plays out. Now, I've got my Dark Lament, so I can start building my spires, but I'm not going to do that just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my Amplified Bioresonance next, so I can get a damage-based pylon instead of just a healing one. But also I get this Crushing Root, which I can put on my Arborians, which gives them extra healing power, and it also deals damage when it entangles, so that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is train that up, and then I'm currently doing my transit infrastructure, so I can move quickly around my colony. What I've also been doing, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been doing some reforestation. So you can see I've got a lot of forest areas, which my Amazonians love, my Amazons. So that will help me out as well. And yeah, there we go. So let's move forward a few turns and see where we go from there. Okay, we're at turn 54. And the update now is I have created this new colony in Olindale, and that's going to be a energy-based colony. As you can see, I get an energy bonus here, I get an energy bonus from the teleport, and I'm currently bringing my army up to deal with these paragons, so I could take that over, because then I'll get an energy bonus there as well. So I'll have it getting all the energies, which is great. So that's the plan over there. And in the meantime, who was it? S96 decided to declare war on T1, so it's like an assembly on assembly war. And I got dragged into it because I had a defensive pact. But that's not a bad thing, because if we look at the map, you can see T1 is over here. There we go. So DAYDX and TAQDR4. And guess who's in between? In between T1 and myself is Zana. And fortunately for me, if we look at here, Zana has gone to war with T1, which helps me no end because those two can fight it out. T1 can't get to me and attack me because she has to go through Zana. And so that's going to hopefully pull Zana's abilities down, which means then that when I launch my Doomsdays, I'll be in a much better position and I could even potentially just attack Zana. So we're going to see how that plays out. I mean, I've actually got Zana here, and Zana's only got 1,404 army power for her main hero, which is not a lot for the Dvar, I have to say. So, I mean, obviously I can't see these units here, and I may have to sort of get a good look, but yeah, she doesn't seem to have really that much of an army. She hasn't really grown as much as I would expect for a Dvar. But there you go. So we're going to see how that plays out. But what I'm going to do is I have just trained up the orbital relay skill, orbital relay development. And what this gives me is this military assembly base. Now, what I'm going to use that for is basically it heals all my units. And also it has walls and turrets and tactical combat, which is pretty cool. But what we're going to do with that is I'm going to build a forward base right here. And yes, it's going to upset Zana, but that's fine. And then what I'm going to do is on the next turn, I will build one of those military assembly bases thingamajigs that's right there. And that means then I've got the ability to recharge my units right on the border with Zana, which is really nice. Oh, I see what Zana's doing now. Zana's busy doing the site. So that will hopefully help me out. Also, in terms of those skills, what I'm going to train up next is Gaian Stewardship, because I want the Advanced Wildlife Militarization Doctrine. And then straight after that, I'll train up the Operation Effectiveness so that I can get that extra Doctrine slot. But what that will do is it will give me 10 Vitality for all my animals, give them more morale, and they'll gain more XP as well, which will be useful for me because I'm actually doing quite well with my animals. I've seemed to be really good at getting the wild piglets, the rabid piglets, and I'm modding these guys up. So I'm modding all my units up at the moment because I had loads of Cosmite. So they're getting acidic composites, so they could do even more damage. They melt armor now with those gastric juices of theirs, which is great. They've got this evolutionary mutation, which also grants them, extra vitality and gives them resistance. And then I'm giving them the bio-regens as well, so that they can heal in combat. So there you go. So those guys have been modded up, and I'm also modded up the units over here, which I'm going to take in to attack the Paragon. So that's going to be, they've been modded already now, so there you go. So even my Siren has got sort of whatever I could put on. I couldn't put any other mods on, so that was all I could do. And then my Flower has got the acidic composite, it's got the regens as well. My Biomancers have got the regens, my Harriers have got the regens, so my units are getting pretty powerful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this site, I'm going to build up that colony, and then bring all my armies down here to this front, and then probably declare war on Zana. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up here because we're at turn 54 and I've been going on for quite a while, and this seems like a really good time. Kind of things are really building up nicely, so hopefully in part 3 we can either win or we can get it to the point where all hell breaks loose. So either way, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please give me a like and please subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of my next update. All right, take care, see you soon. Thank you for watching.